Hey, want to take a walk on the wild side and experience the bleeding edge of technology? Then get ready, because it doesn't get much more edgy than this. You're in for a wild ride. You're listening to Sovryn Tech with your host, the man in triple black, the golden stallion of the tech world, Brian Sovryn. He's got a huge brain. And now, here's Brian.
That's right. This is Sovryn Tech, and it is I, Brian Sovryn, with you here with another wonderful special. And today, I talked a little while back that I wanted to get on. There was quite a few things I was really excited about. I mentioned briefly about KryptoKit during when the lovely and hyper-intelligent Dr. Stephanie Murphy and I did a Inside Bitcoin special. And I mentioned that, and I said, boy, I want to see if I can get guys involved with that on the show, along with other things. And here I am. I'm delivering. I am so excited about this, to have this guest on this week. Anthony Di Iorio, welcome to the show.
Thanks very much, Brian.
Now, Anthony, you are the Executive Director of the Bitcoin Alliance of Canada, and you are a founder and partner of KryptoKit. Is that right?
Yeah, that's one of my many hats. I'm also the founder of the Toronto Bitcoin Community Meetup group. I'm involved in some other Bitcoin-related projects, but those are the two that I'm focusing on right now, yeah.
Yeah, I got to say, you are one of the busiest guys I know. You really are. Like, you seem like you're just nonstop action all the time, with everything Bitcoin related. And I got to wonder, what exactly, how did you get excited about Bitcoin? How did you first hear about Bitcoin? What got you, to where you started getting all these hats that you talk about?
Sure. I first heard of Bitcoin on Free Talk Live, as many other Bitcoin people have. Awesome. I would say a dedicated in the past, a Peter Schiff fan, and I listen to him on a daily basis. And one day I remember just saying, I wonder if there's any more, liberty, freedom-oriented podcasts out there. And I did a search, and I came across Free Talk Live. And I started listening to that on a daily basis, and I kept hearing Bitcoin, and I looked it up. And
around what year was this? Is this like 2011? Last year.
2012, okay. Just in the summer 2012. So things have been moved really quickly. I dove into it, and didn't sleep much for the next many weeks. And I think a month later, I started the Toronto Bitcoin Community Meetup. We were one of the first meetups that started, and we do a weekly basis right now. We got about 400 members. We started off doing it once a month, and then it got busier and busier. We did it twice a month, and then over the last few months, we've expanded it to once a week. Every Wednesday in Toronto is Bitcoin Wednesdays, and we get about 50, 60 people out to each meetup.
Wow. Yeah, I was going to ask what size the group was. So about 50, 60. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really good. Initially there's always concerns when you're doing it once a week that, it's going to start getting saturated. But no, it's been great. It's getting busier and busier. Every week we're bringing in more and more new people. We do 4 different themed events. We do two social events. We do a Bitcoin 101 for new people getting their first wallets and asking the pros any questions that are there. And it's nice that we do that, because we find a lot of times new people, they feel they're going to get lost if they come into a regular meetup. So it's nice to have one thing a month for the new people. And then we have one for the merchants and entrepreneurs to get together and discuss ideas and feed off of each other. So yeah, it's doing really well.
So you're appealing to any kind of interest in Bitcoin. You're really making sure it gets addressed and gets connected.
Yeah, that's right. Well, and I learned that from Jonathan Mohan in New York. He does the Bitcoin NYC.
Oh yeah, great guy. Yeah,
great
absolutely.
Guy. And when we had launched and announced the alliance back in April, he actually reached out to me before I think that the group had even started, and he's like, yeah, I like what I'm hearing you guys are going to do up there in Canada, and we've kept in close contact, and I've learned a lot from him about consistency. He's always stressed the fact that it should be every week, and it should let people know that every single Wednesday, that there's something going on for Bitcoin and people can come down. So consistency is key, and he's also always stressed the fact of, the themed events is something I learned from him too. So he's the one that gave me the idea for doing the themed events, and we incorporated that. And that's just what's, the great thing about Bitcoin is you take these ideas and people are building on them. And when you get so many passionate people together, the communities start building. And I can't imagine having a banking meetup. You know what I mean? About Bitcoin.
Yeah, right.
It's easy to do. So, and
the Bank of America meetup. Yeah, right.
Yeah, we got we see people weekly like, hey, I want to quit my job. I just want to get engrossed in this. And I'm seeing that happen all the time. I got a group of volunteers that work with me on a daily basis. They're up in my condo right now. I'm on a regular basis. I got Vitalik Buterin right now, who's back in Toronto, and he's working with me.
He's with Bitcoin Magazine, right?
That's right.
Vitalik does a lot of things. Yeah.
Yeah, he does a ton of things too. He's probably the
great guy.
best writer in Bitcoin.
Sure, I'd agree.
He's probably one of the best developers in Bitcoin as well. He's an extremely intelligent guy, and we're fortunate enough to have him join the team at KryptoKit with us recently. So he's been working with my partner Steve on the development side of things. And in fact, we're about to announce, and actually I can make this the first announcement, is that we've got Roger Ver and Eric Voorhees have also joined our partnership team at KryptoKit now.
Wow. Boy, that's as serious as it gets. Okay.
It is. I approached them in Argentina. I was at the conference. I was speaking, as were they, and I've known them from the past. And I sat them down and showed them KryptoKit, and they really, really liked it. And we worked something out where they're now partners with us. And I asked the same thing of Vitalik, and Vitalik came on board. So we got a team of 5 now that are working on KryptoKit, and Roger and Eric are going to be involved with the leadership roles and working with me on the business side of things. Where they'll have a smaller role, but I'm going to be looking to them for advice, and
sure,
they're really supportive, and I think we're all very similar, and we just want to get the good word of Bitcoin out there. And Vitalik and Steve and my partner Steve will be working on the development side of things, and Vitalik's also connected with the dark wallet guys, and I've been speaking with them, and we've been tossing ideas around all together, and yeah, it's really exciting. And
this is an amazing thing about Bitcoin is that, and I love it about I love it for this, is that a lot of these companies are like they work together. Sure. And they're not like working against each other. They're kind of all grabbing like the best of both worlds. Even like I recently learned that like not just Bitcoin, but just in the cryptocurrency world in general, like Litecoin and Bitcoin, both dev teams talk to each other quite a bit, cross-implementing ideas. I mean, that's really exciting to see. That people aren't cutthroat.
No, it's the culture. I mean, even with us in KryptoKit, and I mean, Roger Ver's involved with blockchain.info, and
right,
we just thought there could be some synergy between us, and he's very supportive, and a lot of people use the blockchain.info backend to do their transactions, which is what we do in KryptoKit. But he's willing and lets that people do that, and it's people just sharing and want to just move this forward and build up the infrastructure, and that's what I enjoy doing with the community building side, and just I think the more we can share these resources and pass them on to other people and let them go with it, take them, use them whatever way they want. I think it's better, and I think it also pushes each other too, because you still want to stay ahead of the game. So if another person's working on this project, you think it's great, and it actually pushes you harder to continue on with what you're doing.
Right. Yeah, I can see that. I absolutely love that attitude. While we're talking about KryptoKit, why don't we go ahead and talk a little bit about what exactly KryptoKit is?
Sure.
I've used it. I've mentioned it on this show before, just last week, actually. I think was the first time I mentioned it. But I am very, very excited about this. I love it. Now, of course, I use one of my main computers that I use, especially when I'm traveling, is a Chromebook.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to take that with me places because it only costs me a couple $100. So, if I get a hard time or if I lose it or something happens, I'm not that worried about it per se. Yeah. So it's a good kind of throwaway machine. I don't even like to really even carry my phone around with me so much. So my Chromebook is, pretty quintessential to me. And so then I find out about this, this Chrome extension, called KryptoKit that essentially, lets you have your wallet right into the browser and very interactive with the browser. And I was just ecstatic over the idea that I could have that with me.
We think it's the easiest wallet to set up and use and make Bitcoin transactions, and now we've added some other features. So I can tell you a little bit of history about it. Why don't we start?
Please, yeah, that sounds great.
Sure. So my partner and I, we met in January. He had put a post out on Reddit. Actually, maybe it's just December. He had put a post out on Reddit saying that he was a developer looking to do some work, and we got together. We threw some things around, and we had at one time we're working on a replacement of InstaWallet. InstaWallet was a very simple instant wallet service that was web-based,
Right.
And very easy to use. You would go to InstaWallet, you get a wallet right away, and you would use a secret URL system in order to get back to your account. So that URL actually became your account information. So
Yeah, so there was no passwords. You would just go to that address, that URL address in the address bar, and that would allow you to access your wallet, right?
That's right. And I used it quite frequently. I was using InstaWallet, and they had a couple issues, and they got hacked. And two of the issues that they had was that they were some of their URLs were getting spidered or indexed by Google, and the second was that they were holding on to customer funds. And in Bitcoin, if you can avoid it at any cost, you don't want to hold on to other people's money, especially.
No, right. I mean, Bitcoin's decentralized, so it's not a good idea to have a centralized server for Bitcoin when it's supposed to be, for in any case. Yeah, go ahead.
But there are certain instances where you do need to hold on to people's money. Like if you're doing like a Kickstarter project,
right,
doing things, you do have to, and it's always a trade-off with certain things. Like in terms, I was involved in Bitcoin gambling for a while. I had a site that we sold a few months ago. And there's always a trade-off with, even in the gambling space, where you don't want to hold on to other people's money, but you also want the people playing to have a chance to win big deals, a big lottery. So there's always that little trade-off.
Sure, there's got to be a house. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so there's a fine balance in between there. So when InstaWallet went down, Steve and I, we were on a mission to create the next generation and evolution of the instant wallet service, because it was a very handy system and no one stepped up to fill the void. And I think a lot of people were nervous. It had a very bad rep afterwards, InstaWallet, because there were I think I heard over 1 million accounts were lost, or 1 million accounts were compromised when InstaWallet went down.
Yeah, so this is about a year ago, right?
It was actually, no, it was just early. Yeah, it was earlier this year. I think it was like March or April this year, I believe.
Okay, right.
So what we did is I had a site that was called Satoshi Circle, and we had a similar a similar secret URL system in order to get back to your account. So you would bookmark the account, and that would get you back to your funds. And we had about 4,000 players, and we knew that we had a really good system and that it wasn't getting indexed by Google. So we knew that we already had something in place that we could start to transfer over to an instant wallet service. And with Satoshi Circle, we had a wallet, because you would go to the game, you would get your secret URL, which was your account, you would get a personal deposit address, you would send funds to that address, and then you would start playing from within the game, and when you were done, you would cash out. So we would hold on to customer funds there, but you kind of had to with that instance. But we'd looked and started to figure out a way where we're not holding on to customer funds, and we could still offer the same easy, convenient secret URL system. So we ended up building something around the blockchain API, and we developed a site called Rush Wallet. And Rush Wallet was using a secret URL system. We weren't holding on to any customer funds. All information was stored client-side, which was another change from InstaWallet.
Right.
So we didn't hold on to anybody's passwords. We didn't know any of the passwords. We think that's the better way to go. So everything was stored client-side. Nothing left your web browser. When you went to the site, you moved your mouse around on Rush Wallet, and you're starting to generate an address right in your address field, in your URL. So
right, that was it's JavaScript that does that allows for the creation of. It's a really secure way to do it.
That's right, and it's only on your computer. So nothing is getting sent anywhere. So we released it in a beta, and we got really good feedback. We were very confident in the system. And then at that time, blockchain.info, they changed something on their API, and it kind of messed us up, and we couldn't figure out how to fix it, and we kind of shelved it for a while. We just were working on a few other things, and we put it on the back burner. But I always have in my head, telling my developer, Steve, at the time, Steve, I'd like to get this going again. And I always, was pushing him to let's get going on it. So maybe 3 weeks ago, he let me know that he'd been working on something. And in like a matter of 1 or 2 days, he was able to, he showed me the extension that he had been doing. And it was the extension, we threw around some different names on it. First, we were going to call it Rush Wallet. And he was taking blockchain.info credentials. You could actually log into your blockchain.info account in the extension. So username, password, and then you'd have full access to spending your blockchain Bitcoins without having to go into the blockchain website. So KryptoKit was born then. We migrated our Rush Wallet backend and combined the two things together.
Right.
And within like a couple of days, we had KryptoKit pretty much developed. And what's unique about it is that it's pretty much the first extension wallet. Blockchain.info does have something, but it's based on their full wallet system. It's really nothing similar.
Yeah, it really, they're like, they have that. I have that on my Chromebook as well, and all it really is just kind of it's kind of a shell for the website. It's not, it's not exactly, it's nothing like what you have.
Yeah, that's right. So what's unique about ours is it's an instant Bitcoin wallet Chrome extension, only available for Chrome right now.
And are you planning on a Firefox release?
Yeah, that's going to be
okay.
The next step. We're settling out some features that we've been putting in KryptoKit since we launched, and we'll go through those.
Sure.
But yeah, definitely in Firefox, and then looking at the mobile is the next thing to go. So I've always been, whatever you can do to remove any type of friction is what I've always tried to push for. When I did Satoshi Circle, it was a very simple secret URL, no usernames, no passwords. You get a deposit address right away. You deposit, you start playing, you withdraw.
Right.
Very simple, very easy, one screen. So with KryptoKit, you open it up. You can install it through the Chrome store. You open it up and you just move your mouse around, and in between a random generator and the randomness of your mouse coordinates, it generates your public and private key pair. So within a second, you literally have your brand new Bitcoin wallet. You don't have to fill in any passwords, usernames, logging in anywhere. So you then are given an option to deposit funds. You can do it through QR code or copy and pasting to deposit. And then any website you go to, it pulls addresses from the page, any Bitcoin address, and puts them in a very convenient bulleted list right in the extension, and enables you to just click what you want to make a payment to, put the amount in, and hit send. That's it. It's extremely frictionless. It pops open when you need it. It stays there. Your credentials are stored only on your computer, not sent to any server. So we let people know we don't have your passwords. If you want to set a password there, or if you somehow remove the extension and you haven't backed it up, and we give different options for backing it up, that you're responsible for it. And that's how I think things should be.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that eliminates, because really people should want to be in control of, in many ways this is their finances, but they should want to be in control of, what they're using, of their software or their technology. It's not something really, that should so much be left up to other people. But, the trade-off oftentimes is like, well, it's really hard for me to do, to be so much in control of what I'm doing. But you guys made it so easy. Like, I am in awe. Everything you're talking about, how it's frictionless and easy. No kidding. It really, really is. And I like the fact, because now you said, because the password is optional, right?
That's right. We do it without the password. So for example, for my computer at home here, I feel completely secure. I don't like having to put in a password every time I need to make a Bitcoin payment.
Right.
Of course, I keep my savings in another thing. I use an offline system. This is great. It's very secure. But if you don't feel comfortable too much, throw small amounts in there, and it just makes it so easy for you to go any website, make a payment. You don't have to switch back and forth between tabs. You're not copying and pasting addresses anymore. You could actually stay on the page that you're looking to make a payment on and just pop open this little extension and select the payment address you want to send the payment to, and then hit send. It's extremely easy like that. It's very convenient. We call it an instant, almost disposable system.
Sure.
But
yeah, I mean, it's great for, it's really great, especially if because it integrates so well with websites. One annoying thing I know a lot of people complain about is having to hold their phone up to their computer screen to read the QR code and send funds or whatever. I mean, KryptoKit eliminates the need for that.
Yeah, I mean, there could be some other things we can look into in terms of funding the account, because you still need to scan a QR code or go to another account to deposit funds.
Yeah.
That's something that we're going to look into in the future. But for now, you fund it for once, and then you can just go site to site, open and close it when you need.
Yeah, just put your spending money in there, essentially.
Yeah, that's right. And so we've got pretty much an instant Bitcoin wallet. That's the fastest, easiest setup. We've got the easiest and most convenient way to make Bitcoin payments. And we've added a Reddit feed. So you can have all your Reddit Bitcoin news is
incredible.
Well. And you have a choice between Google News or Reddit, or you can do a combination of both.
Right.
So we've got the wallet, we've got the payment system, we've got news for Bitcoin, and also we've got some charts there. And you can set the currency that you want. For right now, we use bid average to display the price there. But
Okay, yeah.
little
BitAverage.com is a great choice. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think so. And it's just a convenient set of tools that's pretty much everything you need for Bitcoin right there. And it's very lightweight. I think it's less than half a meg.
Yeah.
It updates automatically through the Chrome store. It's been audited by several people, and we've got the thumbs up from some big names in the industry. And we're excited about it. We're going to keep pushing forward new features. We're now looking to implement Coinbase purchasing directly through
Fantastic. Okay.
So we're just going to keep pushing out new little things on it, and we like being active with it and letting people know that we're keep adding to it. We've got
Coinbase. Coinbase is a lot of they use a lot of open source licensing, so they've got to be pretty easy to work with. I'm glad to hear that you're working with them.
We've got the API integrated, and now we're just figuring out how we're going to work it so we don't clutter things up too much. And we've got a good marketing and PR team. We're working with Social Radius, which is Michael Turpin's company. Michael Turpin's one of the guys from BitAngels.
Yeah.
He's got he's a big Bitcoin person. He was the previous owner, I think, of MarketWired, which was a very large PR firm. And now he's pushing Bitcoin heavily, and we're really happy with what they're doing with our social media outreach and our PR outreach. And we're going to keep that going. We're going to be at CES in January. We've got
fantastic.
We've got a booth there in the Bitcoin Pavilion.
That'll be Las Vegas, beginning of January, right?
Yeah, I think it's the 7th through 10th in Vegas.
Yep.
And we've got some exciting things to announce. Like we're working on a hardware device right now that's going to tie into our wallet. So we've got that in the works. We got a prototype almost developed for that. So anything that we can do to offer more, security and try to make this, if this can be as good as an offline wallet, with all the convenience that we offer, also making it more secure, where you have a device that you can actually, have 2 or 3 factor authentication. And I have to apologize for the fire trucks in the background here. But
that's all right. I thought we were talking Bitcoin and they were coming to get you. That's all right. Well, something you're talking about security. Something I want to ask you. This is another feature that a few people have expressed that I've shown CryptoKit to that they really, really like, and that's the messaging system that's built into it.
We didn't even mention that yet.
Yeah. I mean, this is amazing. Like, you want to talk about ease of use because it's using GPG.
Yeah.
Okay, which is the open source version of PGP, which is something that even the NSA is annoyed by, that it exists. Yeah. And you have made it the most simple implementation simple to use implementation I've ever seen. I don't know how simple it was for you to set that up, but as far as using it, oh man, it's incredible.
I could never figure out GPG. It was such a pain to get yourself set up and.
Yep.
And it was a natural fit, having a payment system, then having a messaging system. And so what it is, it's an instant messaging system. It works on a key pair, just like your Bitcoin wallet works. So it uses GPG encryption with a private and public key pair. You hand out your public key pair to anybody that you'd like to have on your friends list that you want to send instant messages to.
Right.
You basically have a start of a social network now that's built on the messaging system. And you actually get little notifications and sounds that pop up in the browser extension icon. It'll show like the little number 1 or number 2 if there's an alert on the messages you have. So
fantastic.
It's very simple to set up. You just put a name that someone can identify you by, an email address, and neither of them have to be your real ones, but that's just how someone's going to know who it is when they're sending you a message.
Right.
You put a password in, and you have now your keys that you can then distribute your public key to anybody you wish. Import anybody else's key that you want into your list, and then you're just sending messages which are encrypted, completely secure. They do get stored on our server until they're fetched, but they're stored encrypted. So on your client-side computer, you have your private key, and the messages are completely encrypted when they leave your computer. They're stored on a server, and if at any time someone wants to come and take our server, or to say, hey, you better hand over that server, they're completely encrypted. They could take it all they want, but there's no, we don't have access to those messages. We don't know your private keys. So it's a completely secure system.
Right. I mean, you guys are really doing your due diligence as far as that goes. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very simple, easy to use. It has reply functions and all inline. So nothing pops up. It's all done in line in your extension. Very simple to use. And so now with a payment system, then a messaging system, and Bitcoin charts and Bitcoin prices and news, it's a whole little kit of tools that people seem to be enjoying. I think we've got almost 2,000 users right now. And our next step is we're thinking of working with Jason King on Sean's Outpost and start posting some small little ads at the bottom of the extension, which is going to be for charities.
Excellent.
And then the next step is probably to have them for exchanges, so ways that people can get Bitcoins. Because
I love it, and that the name makes so much sense once you put all that together. Because when you call it CryptoKit, it's literally a cryptographic suite.
That's right.
Right there for you, and it's the perfect name.
And it's got a lot of possibilities too. Because if you were to think about what we've got now a payment system, a messaging system. We've got really now a social network that's starting to form, and you've got a friends list. We can then use the same GPG keys to start doing like voice over IP. We could implement a thing called Mailvelope, which would be secure emailing.
Yep, I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, all using this one key. Like this key.
Yeah, in fact, real quick, you even have it so that I actually use my key for my CryptoKit is actually my GPG, my public key for my email address for Brian@freetalklive.com. You actually allow someone to import that, so you don't even if people have been using that key forever and you just want to import that, so you can just move the way you communicate. It's very, very simple.
That's right, and you don't even need to use our instant messaging system if you don't want. You could take the message, you can encrypt it there. You can put it over to your email, send it in an email. The other person gets it, they decrypt it.
Phenomenal.
Very, very convenient like that. But this key really opens the doors to a lot of other communication possibilities. I mean, we could eventually do something like Gribble, which is like Skype, but it's source, and we could use the same key pair. So it's using the information is sent encrypted and it's decrypted on your local machine. So there could be a real start to a social network here that's a browser extension that, again, is very, very small. If you look at Facebook or look at some of the other ones, they have huge server requirements. So they're actually storing all of that information on these server farms. With us here, that it's stored client side. We're not storing any messages, so you're responsible keeping your own messages there. There's no server requirements. Very, very little bandwidth requirements. You've got a payment system, messaging system. You've got a slew of other communication options in the future. So it could be something very interesting, and it's completely secure. So it could be the start of a social network that's built right into your browser.
Yeah, I love it. In fact, it's interesting. There was I think it was the New York City Inside Bitcoin that was this year, 2013.
Yeah, you were there.
Yep, and there was a gentleman there talking who was saying, well, we're trying to get Mozilla, who are the people that create Firefox.
Yep.
We're trying to get Mozilla to implement a wallet right into the browser. And boy, you beat them to the punch, but you didn't just beat them to the punch. I mean, this just blows away whatever they had in mind. Everything I heard from that was so basic compared to what you have.
Yeah, I was there as well, and I remember the talk. It was the guy from the W3 Web Standards.
Yes, yeah, that's it. Yeah,
he was talking about, in order to get the mass acceptance and adoption of Bitcoin, you got to put this in the browser. And he said that there were one. I don't know. He didn't mention which one it was, but he said that there was one browser that was already trying to do that. And, my partner had, he'd thought about it, and we knew it would be a great thing. Now, I wasn't expecting this one a few weeks ago that he said, hey, I'm working on something, but I knew that was something that could be huge. And we've got other organizations trying to do something like this, like Dark Wallet, Cody Wilson and Amir Taki, and, they're working on a system similar to this. They want to have the extension. They want it to also be a mixing service as well for Bitcoin. That's something that we're investigating and looking into, and Vitalik Buterin's, looking into that for us, and we might implement something like that. But we've done what Dark Wallet is set out to do, and we've done it really quickly. I think they're getting organized right now, and they've got other features and things they want to put into it. But we were able to, be the first of its kind, put it out there, and we've got a lot of things that we want to do with it in the future.
Yeah, no, I love it. I can't recommend it enough. I mean, it is one of the, really, I don't like to recommend a whole lot of things really highly, but this is something I recommend as high as I possibly can. It works so well. It's so simple. It's everything, I mean, that's one of the rules for good code and for good software is that it has to be simple and elegant. And really, it is both. I mean, you definitely achieve that.
Yeah, we're really happy, and most of it goes to my partner Steve, who's just he gets things done in a day that people take months to do. He's just one of
clearly. I mean, admittedly, I did see kind of a rough cut of the KryptoKit extension at one point, and like 2 weeks later, the thing looked, I mean, just had so much polish. It looked so good, out of nowhere. I mean, this thing looked amazing. It was, boy.
He moves very quickly, and now we want to keep building on things, and it's exciting. So, that's pretty much KryptoKit, and that's now we're going to keep advertising and pushing forward with new features, and hopefully expand to bring on maybe another developer or two to start looking at some other options for it. And Vitalik is now working with me in Toronto. He's back home here, and he's taking a role in this and working on some other projects. And
fantastic. Now you got a great group of people up there, which is awesome. Now, are you all part of, like you said, you're the executive director of Bitcoin Alliance of Canada? Would you be willing to tell me about that?
Sure. So after the meetup group, I'd done the local thing with Toronto. In April, when the price and the media media attention was rising with Bitcoin, when it went up to its highest levels there in the spring. A lot of media and a lot of people were hearing about Bitcoin, and the representation that I was seeing on TV and the people that were getting to speak about it could be a lot better. And I devised the idea to get a group of people across Canada to, work together and promote Bitcoin professionally and clearly, especially in the media. So to be there when the media was looking for people to talk to about Bitcoin, because they didn't know who to speak with. So Bitcoin was getting all the attention, and they weren't sure who to talk to.
Right.
So that was the first concept that I had, was to, hey, let's get a group of people together in Canada here, all the way across Canada, that can represent Bitcoin and just be there and on call for the media when they're looking for people to speak about it. So I put out a press release nationally across Canada, and just putting out the concept and inviting Bitcoin enthusiasts from across the country to contact me. And from there, it really grew rather rapidly. I had maybe a couple hundred people call me, and I spoke with them, and from there, our goals, from speaking to these people, our goals grew. And now, I see it as what we are is we're an information resource. We're here to provide information to regulatory bodies in Canada that want more information on Bitcoin. We're here to provide information to merchants that want to start accepting or getting information. So we're here to get to the general public and, be there in the media, answer questions the public has. I'm very accessible. My phone number is everywhere if anybody ever wants to talk to me about Bitcoin.
Sure.
And from there, we put out a few more press releases. We got together in San Jose at the conference that you and I were also at.
Yep.
And we had a Canadian Bitcoin meetup there, and we had 30 people in San Jose from Canada that got together and had drinks.
Oh, phenomenal.
And then from there, we put out a final press release, and we started developing a group of people that wanted to be on the board of directors. And we divided a separate group that wanted to be involved in the election process for the board of directors. So we ended up having two groups of about 15 in each group. I think it was about 15. And the ones that wanted to be board members applied, and the ones that wanted to not be board members but wanted to be involved in the election process, they went through the applications, and they decided on a 7-member board.
Okay.
So I myself applied. Everybody applied. We didn't want to be a top-down organization that just announced ourselves and just said, hey, this is who we are.
Right.
We did it with participation from across the country. We are now a 7-member, actually 6-member board now, and we're represented in 5 different provinces. We had spent the previous months getting all of our organization prepared. We're a registered nonprofit organization. We have legal counsel. We have accounting counsel, all pro bono. I was elected the executive director by the board. We have 9 different committees. And we launched to the public, I think, 2.5 weeks ago, perhaps, with our membership structure and with our nation-building website, which is a platform for building communities such as ourselves and nonprofits and political campaigns and the like. And it's not just a website. It's actually very interactive. You can sign up as a volunteer. It's tightly integrated with social media. It has leaderboards and social media or social credits for people that are contributing more to the space. So It's a whole environment. And we launched those 2 things. We've got a few hundred members right now, which is pretty good for across Canada. We're not a very large population, but we've got over a few hundred members in the last couple of weeks. And they're comprised of free members and yearly members and lifetime members. We wanted to have a free aspect to everything that we do. So
absolutely,
we think it's good to get numbers behind us, and the best way to do that is offer free memberships with even perks though. So you get a discount at the conference. Even if you're a free member, you get a 10% discount on any events that we do.
Yeah, so it's not free and you get nothing. It's free and you're still, participating and getting, advantages to being a part of it.
That's right. And then for the premium and the lifetime members, you get voting rights, and you get further discounts. So I think it's 15% for members, and you get for the premium members, and it's about $25 a year. And then the lifetime is around $125 a year. But of course, in Bitcoin equivalent, everything we do is Bitcoin. We don't accept any fiat. It's all in Bitcoin. And so we're happy with our structure. We think it's appealing to the masses, and that's what we wanted to do. Is we want everything that we want to do. We want it to appeal to 95% of the population.
Right.
We don't want to, have people say, well, who are you guys? Just come out and say that you're this organization. Well, we're an organization that put out press releases across the country, and we got participation from many, many people, and we had a voting process, and so that's who we are, and that's, we're confident with what we did.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're the real deal. You're forwarding the conversation, and you're engaging, the country really, you know what I mean, with this information, and I mean, yeah, bravo.
Yeah, and we're an alliance. We are, and I think that's the best word that any organization can use. We are just a group that is very loosely, we like to team up with other organizations. We don't need contracts between ourselves.
Right.
We're just a group that is there to better, further the cause of Bitcoin and provide information and resources, and not necessarily take too hard stances, but we had to do one recently. We just announced 2 days ago, we put a press release out that there's someone trying to register the Bitcoin as a trademark in Canada.
Okay.
And we had, we wrote to the trademark office in Canada, and we put out a press release saying that we are opposing this, and we stated our reasons why, and we don't think it will go through, but it seems to be spreading now, because there was someone in the UK that's tried to register it now. There's someone in Russia that's trying to register it now. And I don't think it's going to happen, because you can't just register something as simple, I don't think, as Bitcoin. It has to have some type of uniqueness to it.
Right.
But this is something that we've taken a stand for, and we put it out there, and letting them know that we oppose this, and these are the reasons why. And we had our legal counsel draft a letter and put it through. So,
sure. Well, I mean, still, you're taking a moral stance, which I think is great. I mean, that's more than a lot of people will do, and a lot of organizations will do.
Yeah.
And I think that's fantastic. That shows, I mean, amongst everything else you've mentioned, that definitely shows the worth, and like, this is why we're here, because someone has to say this.
Mm-hmm.
Someone has to talk to these people about this.
Yeah, and we feel good doing that. We got such a great scene up here. The Canadian Bitcoin scene is flourishing. We've got a lot of good businesses that have started up here. We've got, we had the first ATM was put in out west in Canada, and we've got some guys working on really good projects like merchant POS equipment here, 2 different companies. We've got just a plethora of Bitcoin businesses and startups, and right now the regulations here are very favorable to us. Whether that changes in the future, who knows? But
right,
things are awesome. We've got 3 distinct communities out here. We've got the one in Toronto. We've got the one in Montreal, which is the Bitcoin embassy out there, and we've got the Vancouver co-op. So there's a Bitcoin co-op out there, and we work together, and we talk, and we share resources, and we're different models. And when you have people that are just as passionate about something as Bitcoin, it's very simple to work together and strive for the same goals.
Sure. I all of this sounds so exciting, and I know I've got a lot of listeners, a lot of Sovryn Tech listeners in Canada, and if I imagine they're already involved, but if they're not, get involved with the Bitcoin Alliance. You got a website for that, a URL?
Yeah, it's bitcoinalliance.ca.
Okay.
We've also got the BitcoinExpo, which I don't know if you want to talk a little more about that.
I do. That's what I want to get into next, because this looks. I've been to the webpage. Very, very exciting. This looks great.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I think it could turn out to be one of the biggest Bitcoin events. I planned this for a while. I've been to 7 conferences this year internationally. I've always been speaking with the organizers and trying to see what would make a good venue and what would make it a different event and make things a little bit unique. And
sure,
I think we're going to do that. So we've got the events on April 11th through 13th in Toronto at the Metro Toronto Convention Center, which is the largest convention center in Canada. We are looking to have upwards of 700 people. We've got an expo hall, which will be for the exhibitors and for, like, we're doing a gala dinner on the night before, on the Friday evening, and that'll be a nice meeting space for everybody to gather. And then we've got upwards of 4 different theater rooms, so for 4 different talks or different tracks. Now there are 2 rooms that can be split into 4, but we're not sure how we're going to do that yet. We're going to see, what makes most sense. Some people like to have more tracks. Some people don't like it because they think they're missing some things. But there's different things that we're going to look into. We're aiming to have between 80 and 100 speakers, which I think would make it the biggest, at least the amount of speakers or panelists of any conference to date.
Yeah, that's incredible. I don't recall. I've been to quite a few conferences, and I don't recall any of them having that scale, which I think is great.
Yeah, I think there was about 60 or so in San Jose.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
okay.
We're aiming for that. We're with the ability to have many different rooms. We can do that, but we'll see how it goes. And what our plan was is when we launched the website and announced the event, it was to have a good core of speakers, and I think we've done that. That was the first announcement. So we've got some excellent people coming. We've got Jeffrey Tucker is coming. We've got Cody Wilson. We've got Michael Turpin for BitAngels. We've got Jason King from Sean's Outpost. You're coming. You're going to be speaking. Stephanie's coming. We're going to Free Talk Live is coming up here. They're going to be, broadcasting from there. I think we've settled that, haven't we?
I think that's pretty much set as far as I know. So I mean, this is just going to be a huge event. As far as I can tell. Plenty of big names.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg. The names that we've mentioned so far. We've got a lot of good guys. We've got Andreas Antonopoulos is going to be our MC. We've got Adam B. Levine's going to be heavily involved with all the guys from Let's Talk Bitcoin. We've got Bitcoin Magazine is going to be a sponsor. They may even push out a supplemental issue for Bitcoin Magazine on the event. We've got Ed and Ethan who do another show up here in Canada. They're going to be coming. So it's really made a lot of media. There's going to be a lot of interviews. Stephanie said that she'd do a lot of interviewing for us. It's really becoming a community event, and that's what I want it to be. Not just come if you're a company. Well, you'll be an exhibitor. No, let's see how we can work together and help both of us out here. Let's see how we can promote your product. Let's see what you can offer to the event. Trying to make it a real communal feel. And I think some of the Bitcoin events have lacked that. Some have been a little too businessy. I think you kind of felt the same way in the Vegas one.
I did. Yeah.
It needs a good mix. You need a good mix of soul, and you need a good mix of business as well. And I think putting them and having a balance of the two is what's needed.
In fact, you mentioned Andreas Antonopoulos that he'd be emceeing. He pretty explicitly stated he was not interested in doing a lot of Bitcoin work in North America.
He's told us that we're the only one that he wants to come up to this year.
Exactly. What an endorsement. Yeah, because this is a really principled guy, and he said, no, I will be at this one because this is the real thing.
Doing up here, and he's been excellent, and he's been behind us, and Adam the same way. Adam and I, we get along really well, and they're helping out any way they can. So that's exciting, and we also made sure that we implemented our sexual harassment policy, which is what Andreas was very adamant about. He said he won't do another conference unless they have a sexual harassment policy. So we've got that implemented, and we've also got a few other interesting things. Like we're offering a scholarship support. We're going to do a contest to come the new year where perhaps some people in some underdeveloped countries or wouldn't be able to afford to come and talk about something that would be interesting. We're going to offer some scholarships to get them over here and tell them.
Phenomenal.
We're going to be having an art show that's going to be done throughout the weekend. It'll be a Bitcoin-themed not an art show. There'll be actually artists there doing their artwork, and while the talks are going on in the rooms, and you can actually follow along in the different art that's being done, and we'll do like an auction afterwards of the artwork. And 100% of the proceeds of this event is going back to the Bitcoin community in a way that the Bitcoin community wants it to be done. So in the way that our membership wants it to be put out. I'm going to front the cost for this, but we're not paying any salaries. It's all going to be based on volunteers. And then take 100% of the proceeds and put it back into projects that we can spread around the country and help to facilitate this knowledge and Bitcoin. So
I think that is absolutely incredible. I totally agree with Andreas where I feel that the attitude that this expo is being held with is the attitude that I appreciate. It's what I love about Bitcoin. Just like you said, the plethora of things you've got going on with this is phenomenal. yeah, I mean, all I can say is I am so excited about this, and I
I'm
can't
excited
wait
too,
to
and
see.
I'm excited to have that, a whole group from New Hampshire come on up here, and
Yeah, absolutely.
I was down there at the Liberty Forum earlier this year and had a great time, and I want to get a whole crew of them, and I'm excited to have Ian come up here, and
Yeah,
hopefully Mark, if we can swing it with him, and
yeah,
it would be really exciting, and people are really excited about this event. A lot of international people have promised me that they're coming, and a lot of companies are reaching out. And in the new year, we're going to start looking at exhibitors and start putting our packages together. Right now, we're not doing that. We're just looking at the speaker list right now and pushing that out
sure.
forward. And I think once you have a good speaker list, everything will fall into place afterwards.
But
So.
absolutely. But I mean, just what you've listed off so far, I mean, it sounds like there's literally something for everyone.
Yes.
Which is more than I can say for a lot of the Bitcoin conferences I've been to.
Yeah, so I just came back from two. I was in Argentina.
Okay.
And that had a great community feel. It was
Sure.
real grassroots. The people that were there, it was excellent. It wasn't as business oriented. And the Inside Bitcoins one was a little bit different. It's the second Inside Bitcoins one I've been to. And, I enjoyed it. We were exhibiting there, so that's where I was most of the time. I didn't even go to one talk actually at that one.
Yeah.
But we really want to offer, it's being put on by the Bitcoin community is what we're trying to emphasize with ours.
Right.
It's not a money-making venture, really. It's we just think it's going to be such a good time. We're also offering, as we do with everything else, a free aspect to it. So there's going to be a half-day free event for new people to come and learn about Bitcoin. And that's, I think, going to be sponsored by blockchain.info and KryptoKit. So it'll be a half-day event where people who aren't necessarily going to pay the fee to come into the full thing, but just want to come and learn about what Bitcoin is. And we can do some seminars, and we can do get people their first wallets and things like that. So we want to have this real community feel, and that it's being put on by the Bitcoin community. And I think that's important when you're doing events.
I agree. It sounds like you're going to achieve that. I mean, it's really, I am impressed.
Yeah, it's exciting, and I'm really looking forward to it. We got a lot of time to prepare right now.
Right.
So we've got over the 3 months right now. So yeah, it's coming together. We'll start pushing it out, and the tickets will go on sale in January.
Okay. Is there a website for that?
Yeah, it's BitcoinExpo.ca.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's up right now. You can go through a list of the speakers we have, and we've got a whole bunch more to add. Like Jeff Berwick's coming as well, and
fantastic.
He's pretty much confirmed right out there. Eric Voorhees is a tentative, but I'm pretty confident he's going to be coming as well. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome. I love it. I mean, so much. Let me just say, Anthony, I am very glad that there's guys like you on the side of Bitcoin, because you're really bringing so many things together. You're bringing people together. You're bringing the technology together. You're bringing like just this incredible event that's going to be happening in April. Really, kudos and hats off to you.
Thank you. I love the community building. That's my passion, and
yeah,
I'm also now, there's a new organization called the Global Bitcoin Alliance, which has started up, and that came about from the summer from one of the conferences in Amsterdam, where a bunch of leaders got together and of national organizations and people that had already started doing this community building, and we started tossing ideas around and got a Google group going, and now we decided on a name, the Global Bitcoin Alliance, and we're going to be having a website coming out soon. And we're going to be a bit different. It's not going to be a formal organization. It's going to be a very loose-fitting group that shares resources and helps facilitate others in getting their businesses, their communities off the ground. And different
all around the world.
It's just sharing resources, making it so they don't have to reinvent the wheel, because we've got pretty good models established already, and they can take it, they can expand on it, run with it, and grow. And anything that we can do to expedite the growth of these communities worldwide is something that I'm interested in doing. So that's the main theme actually for our expo is Bitcoin community building, and how we work together on an international level, local level, national level to grow these communities, spread them, make it so they're relevant at a time where in the future maybe we're not going to be as relevant, and that there might be other interests that start getting involved in Bitcoin. But if we set ourselves up and we have good communications with maybe certain regulators in certain countries, or we become the go-to people to provide information on Bitcoin, that's what we want to do. So
yeah, I think it's important because when whatever field the person is in, when that person says, "Hey, what about this Bitcoin thing?" I want someone there, that can give them the answers with the right attitude. And so I'm glad, that this is getting set up. That's great.
Yeah, and that's what we do here with the Bitcoin Alliance of Canada. We're here to provide information, and daily I'm speaking with people who have questions or finding me, and they're like, "Hey, I've got this business, and I wonder if there's some way that we can get Bitcoin involved with it," or they're like, "Hey, I'm starting to work on this new project here. I don't really know much about Bitcoin, but maybe you can provide me someone because I'm an expert in this field, and that's my business, but I want to get Bitcoin involved." So we provide them with resources. We get them to come out to the meetups, and it really all does start on the local level. So people come out to our meetups. Then we're meeting, we're talking, we're discussing. There's such a great vibe that they come back out the next week, and then the next week. And if they're not involved in Bitcoin, they start thinking, the job that I'm in right now, do I like it? There's something in Bitcoin I can get involved with. And we're such the early adopters right now. We really are. We're still very, very early on, and there's so many opportunities in Bitcoin and businesses. And if you can be passionate about what you're doing and really enjoy, it's not work. Like, I get up every day, and it's just so much fun. I got to watch it.
You're doing what you love.
And I got to watch that I get enough sleep. That's I've always been a person that gets into things for like 3 months and then loses interest. But I've been in a long time, and I don't see there's going to be any time in the future where I'm going to lose interest for what I'm doing now.
Phenomenal. I love it. Anthony, is there anything else you wanted to add? I mean, this is just amazing stuff going on.
No, it just the Bitcoin Alliance website is BitcoinAlliance.ca. The expo we're having is April 11th through 13th, and that's BitcoinExpo.ca. It's been great speaking with you. My email address is adiorio@bitcoinalliance.ca. That's ADIIORIO@bitcoinalliance.ca. My phone number, 416-831-9593. Love talking to people about Bitcoin. Feel free to hit me up if anybody wants.
Fantastic. Anthony, thank you so much for being on. Thank you so much for everything you're doing. You got a group of great people up there. I am at least thankful, and I'm sure there's plenty, any listeners of mine are very, very thankful of what's going on.
Thanks so much, Brian. I really appreciate what you guys do as well. I love getting together and chatting with you and talking, and I'm excited to have you guys up here in April and spend some time with you.
Excellent. Can't wait. Anthony, again, thank you so much. Listeners, I hope you enjoyed the special. I know I did. I had a great time making it. So please, give it a listen, share it around. Don't forget SovrynnTech.com, SOVRYN Tech.com. If you want to lead people to it, for them to find out about this. This is very, very exciting stuff. We got some exclusives on this one. So Anthony, again, thank you so much for being on.
Bye now.
Carpe Lucem, everybody. We'll see you next week.
This has been Sovryn Tech. Visit us at SovrynnTech.com. That's SOVRYN Tech.com. There you can connect with us, see more of what you've heard on today's show, and catch our podcast feed. Sovryn Tech is open source. We encourage you to share. Later, nerds.